tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow, get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow all the fans go bravo, smile so much.
Alright, you guys, The Anatomy of a Hoax. Have you guys heard about that? That actually is the documentary that has been released on the Fox TV streaming service. It was released on Monday, and it is the Nigerian brothers, the Osundario brothers, the two Nigerian gentlemen who were in the whole setup of beating up Jussie Smollett out there to make it look like he was jumped by somebody from MAGA country so that he can gain more love because of what he supposedly had been through. You guys remember all of that back in, shit, I think that was 2000, was that 2017? It was like 2018, 2000, maybe 2019, 2018, 2019. You guys remember the story. Jussie supposedly had just come into town and was hungry. This was during the polar vortex that Chicago was experiencing. Remember, it was like all those degrees below zero. And he had gotten into town and supposedly had gone to Subway to get a sandwich. And then on his way back home, he was accosted, jumped, and a noose placed around his neck by somebody from MAGA country. Supposed to be two white men in MAGA hats. Attacked him. But once that story came out, at first everybody felt very sorry for Jussie Smollett, but as the news started to, the story started to trickle out more and more, people started to call bullshit. People started to call bull, S-H-I-T. It's still too early to be cursing in this video, you guys. So, after an investigation, it was found that Jussie Smollett had actually set the whole thing up and lied about it. Okay. And, we found out about that when the authorities were able to get the Osundario brothers, and they basically confessed. And so they were the ones, since they were the ones that was in on the setup, they had all the information that the investigators needed to know. And Jussie, in the court of public opinion, completely ruined his career. Completely, which we still will never understand, because Jussie Smollett was a liked personality already. We liked him on Empire. He came from a Smollett family, which, we loved his sister. So it was already, people was already feeling him. We never could understand why he wanted this to happen. On top of that, he was also sending himself threatening notes to the Empire studios, where they filmed Empire. He had this whole thing set up to make it look like he was being harassed or being followed by somebody from MAGA country, saying that they wanted him dead and calling him the F word and all of this stuff. And it was all just to make him look better, which is just craziness, right? So yeah, he went to jail, and he was out, and he was in, and his family fought for him to get out and everything, and he is out. And I know I've seen that he's trying to do some things over there, but really, honestly, it's still too early. People is not trying to deal with Jussie Smollett right now. I don't know if I felt like he needed to go to jail for that, but he did, and I was fine with it, because I was just like, whatever y'all decide. If you think the nigga need to go to jail, then the nigga need to go to jail. If you don't think he don't have to go to jail, and maybe he can do some other things, and let that happen, I was gonna be fine with it either way. They did put him in jail. He wasn't in there long. They fought very hard. They got him out. Okay. And Chicago was just totally pissed at him for making a fool of them, and the investigation and all of this. And yeah, so it was a lot of drama surrounding that. I actually tried to watch The Anatomy of a Hoax this morning. I tried to watch it, but I couldn't. It was on Fox TV streaming service, like I said, and I am not signing up for Fox TV. I don't give a fuck what comes on Fox. Like, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to pay for anything. So I have to only go by the clips that was placed on social media on Monday. And if y'all saw that bullshit, that shit will make you so mad, because, well, at least it made me aggravated, because I felt like they even though the story can definitely has its moments where you can't do nothing but laugh because it's just so ridiculous, I didn't like the fact that these young men who were fully involved on the setup of this hoax, okay, they definitely did the part. They was paid to do what they were supposed to do and all of this. For them now to kind of be applauded and, them to be out here doing this documentary, and I felt like they were smug. They were kind of laughing. They were making fun of Jesse, which I guess Jesse does deserve to get, he did deserve it. But it's just sort of like, nigga, y'all was doing the same shit too. It's one thing to just be remorseful and just be like, you know what, I shouldn't have did that, but this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. It's another thing to get up there and be laughing and making jokes. Oh yeah, we saw him, he was over there, we was running. Oh, I'm gonna get that F word. Oh, hey, F word, here, here I come, and they're laughing about it and doing all this. And I was just like, now we supposed to be laughing with you when you are basically a snitch because you were doing the same thing. And I mean, yeah, they knew that they had to come clean because there was too much evidence against them. But why you up here kind of laughing? And you did the same shit. It's just that you aren't known. You got paid, though, by Jesse, and you participated. So I was just like, these motherfuckers got their goddamn nerves sitting up here laughing and shit about what they did. But if you guys watch the clips that was out on Instagram, when the guy is explaining how he, they ran up to him, basically what the guy says is that they had everything set up. They knew where they were supposed to go, be out there 2 a.m. sharp. They got out there at 2 a.m. Remember, this is polar vortex, it's freezing fucking cold. Jesse was not out there yet. So they waited about 4 or 5 minutes. He finally comes out. They rush up to him, hey, F word, blah, 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 blah. They get into a scuffle. He said that it was very important that Jesse, that everybody knew that Jesse fought back, so just in case it was caught on camera or some people might have saw it or something, they all swinging and all of this. But the guy was like, I wasn't really hitting him with my full force, because the intention was not to hurt him. It was just to make it look like that, put him down on the ground. And then he goes say, I needed it to look like he needed a bruise or he needed a scar or something. So I gave him a noogie. I said, nigga, not a noogie. And if you watch the damn thing, if you watch the video, the music, I was just like, I don't know what's funnier. Is this music funny or the story? So the man was like, so I did like this. Okay, you know how you give somebody a noogie, and he did it like this a bunch of times on his face until it bruised and busted the first layer of his skin. So that's when you see the picture of Jesse with this line under here. That is because it is a self-inflicted noogie. Well, not self-inflicted, but it's it's not a real fight. I mean, a real mark. It's real, but it didn't happen from fighting, I should say. And then the other one comes in and it was like, that's when I come in and I have the bleach in the hot sauce bottle and I throw the bleach on him, and then I place the noose on his face. The guy was like, I didn't put it around his neck. I just put the noose on his face. The noose is where everybody at first started to be like, something ain't right about this story. Okay? Because you guys remember when the police finally were called and Jesse had already made it back to his apartment, and supposedly he was there and he was just trying to get himself together after having this harrowing experience out there on the streets of Chicago, getting beat up in the middle of the polar vortex by the MAGA country. Okay? When the police got there, he still had the noose on his neck. And who walks around with a fucking noose on their neck? He said he did it because he left it on because he wanted them to see that it was hung around his neck. But if you're a black person and you already know the negative energy that just comes from having a noose around your neck, that seems like that would be the first fucking thing that you would take off. You can very easily tell the police that was the noose that they had on my neck. I had to take that shit off because ain't nobody black trying to sit around here with this fucking noose on. I mean, your mind can start playing tricks on you. You feel like maybe that thing might try to hang itself, so it's just like, that was the strange part of the story. And then the story just got worse and worse and worse. And it was you know, when the shit started coming out about what was happening at the Empire Studio, and then on top of this whole scenario, and then of course the Osandario brothers and them getting caught on video buying all of the equipment and the shit that they needed for the fight, and then them just coming flat out and saying that it was all set up. Yeah, child, just a fucking bad look. I mean, I still do want to watch it, but I'm gonna wait till maybe Mr. World Premiere or somebody put that shit on their free site so that I can watch it. But yeah, I mean, all that being said, I thought it was really fucked up that them guys were laughing and doing the video and people were laughing along with them. And it was just like, wait a minute, these niggas is guilty too. Okay? They was also, you know, one of them supposedly was in a relationship with him. They used to do drugs together. Like, they also have they bullshit. They trash too, basically. Okay? So, I'm cool on Jussie Smollett and the Osundaria brothers. Okay? That being said, I do want to watch the documentary. And you guys will have to let me know. Has enough time passed for now you're ready for Jussie to come on back out? I'm sure that this documentary is not going to help. Even though it's so many years afterwards now, it's all said and done. I think they released it right before Jussie's appeal. Remember, he was appealing that jail sentence and all of that. And I think they went to court, or his lawyers went to court earlier this week. I don't know what happened with that appeal, but you know, all of this happened in conjunction with the documentary. So there was timing of it. But yeah, you guys, y'all have to let me know if you did watch The Anatomy of a Hoax. I thought that it was going to be on Apple TV, but like I said, it's only on Fox TV, streaming service. And you guys let me know how it was.
Hide my sorrows, faith is shaky and vibrato. I can't hold a frown too long.
All right, you guys, next story up is a rest in peace to Bobby Caldwell. He passed yesterday, I believe it is. Today is Thursday, even though you won't get this until Friday, but he passed yesterday. And if you don't know who Bobby Caldwell is, he is the infamous voice behind What You Won't Do for Love. You tried everything and you won't give up. In my world, only you. I'm not singing from the diaphragm, y'all. Y'all heard that? It was tight in the throat. Yeah, you got to be able to sing from here. Okay, not here. I wasn't really prepared, but you guys know the song. I'm not gonna lie and say that I know Bobby Caldwell's music catalog, because I don't. That song alone is why I know who Bobby Caldwell is. That is a song that will live forever and ever and ever. It is a timeless classic. It's something that you can listen to really anytime and you wouldn't even know when that song was made, okay? That's when you know you have a true classic there. He also is supposedly, I think he's the one who sang the original. You guys remember Common had There Are Times When You Need Someone, I Will Be By. It's all in the throat. It's too tight up here, y'all. Roxanne, I don't know what's going on, but I can't get it from the diaphragm. But I think he's also the one that sang that song. But anyway, apparently he's been sick for the past 5 years or so. So listen to this. So he had a cold. Okay, they said like a common cold, runny nose, sneezing, coughing. Went to the doctor. The doctor gave him some antibiotics, and these particular antibiotics ended up wreaking havoc on his system. Not sure if he was allergic to them or if these antibiotics were just something that was like completely dangerous and people shouldn't even really be taking them. But he took them, and from then on, he's had health problems. They said that he had a severe case of neuropathy. And that his what is the damn muscle in your leg that the basketball players usually pull? Not the hamstring, but damn, I can't think of the word, you guys. But anyway, that ruptured and he hadn't been able to walk in 5 years. So he's been in a wheelchair, you know, having all these major health problems. Neuropathy, if you guys don't know what that is that's when the nerves go dead in your legs and feet. You can't feel your legs and feet. He had all of these problems and never recovered from them. And they are saying that that is the reason that he died, even though they haven't come out with the autopsy report. They're saying that he died of fluoroquinolone toxicity, okay, which is the antibiotic. So you have to be very, very careful. And when you go to the doctor, and when the doctor prescribes you medication, the very first thing that I remember my mom used to always do is, before we had computers, but my mom had, she would buy all the WebMD big ass books from Costco, and we had encyclopedias. People don't even know what that shit is anymore, but we had encyclopedias, and we had the books that she would buy, and my mom was diligent. She would look up every single medication. So that is what I do now, because even when the doctors prescribe things to you, you still have to be an advocate for your own health and make sure that what you're putting in your body is okay. We are all guilty. Everybody, all of us know that we're not a medical professional, and we don't know. So we just trust whatever the doctor is giving us is for, is the best for us. But that's not always the case. And it's unfortunate, because he probably would have lived a much longer life had he not had taken a few pills, you guys. So it's a sad situation there. Like I said, he's been sick for a long time. And he finally succumbed to the toxicity. Okay. But yeah, highly sampled artist. They said that Boyz II Men, Biggie Smalls, Common, Chance the Rapper, Lil Nas X, they all sampled his music. So he's definitely still a staple. And they said that one of the good things about Bobby Caldwell was the fact that he was able to cross genres very easily. So he could do pop, he could do R&B, he could do, jazz, he could do all of these things. And, that's just how adaptable his music was. So yeah, definitely a legend that is gone. He is survived by his wife, Mary, of 19 years. And his daughters, Lauren and Tessa, and stepdaughter, Katie. He was 71 years old, you guys. So really, in the grand scheme of things, still very young. Okay. Rest in peace to Bobby Caldwell.
I can't stay down too long. Running from pain.
All right, you guys. So next story up. So have you guys been watching the what should I call it? The repackaging and the rebranding of Blac Chyna. Mama named her Angela White. Y'all know who her mama is. I have been watching, and I am really liking what I see. Now, we know that Blac Chyna has been a name in our households for many years now. We remember when she was a stripper. We remember when she blew up from that. She was everywhere. We, of course, know about her relationship with the Kardashians, all of those people. We know about her lawsuit. We know about her flying off of the handle and kind of just super erratic and acting strangely. She's flipping out at airports and going off on people, and it was just a whole bunch going on. And I was just like, are we really witnessing the unraveling of Blac Chyna? But I can say that I think that Blac Chyna has realized that her time as the stripper vixen, as the influencer on social media, I think that she realized that, okay, I'm getting close to 40 now, and I ain't gonna be able to be doing this shit forever. And we've got our Ari the Dons and our Jada Waiters and all of these other young influencers who are now coming up in her spot. Is just sort of like, okay, it's time for me to do something different, okay? Because otherwise you gonna look like the old nigga at the club. You 50 fucking years old trying to hang out and do what these 22, 23, 24-year-old girls is doing. You can look as great as you can, and you can have as much work on your body as you can, but in many ways, it's hard for a 50-year-old to... She's not 50. She's not even 40. But what I'm saying, as you get older, it's hard to compete with that younger group. And really, honestly, you shouldn't want to. Okay, you had your time then. Let them girls have their time now. And now it's time for you to do something different. So I know that she's been acting. She tried her hand on reality shows. She doesn't have the personality, to me, she had her own reality show, which fared better for her. But when she was on like Love and Hip Hop, it just never felt, she always felt uncomfortable. She seemed uncomfortable in that. And honestly, reality shows are kind of, I feel like, on the decline now. So I think that Blac Chyna, or Angela White, if you will, just wants to be taken seriously now. Okay. It's time to do something different. So one of the things that she said that she's decided to do was remove all of her implants. You know, she's had implants in her butt, she's had boob implants, you know, she's had all this work done to her body, including her face, which was always interesting to me because I always thought that she was a beautiful girl before she had any work done. I mean, she had a stripper body, you know, and she looked great. She probably had work done to her body even back then, but then she got more and more done. You know how it is. You see these women that get a lot of work done on their bodies and then they just kind of have that same kind of look. She was falling into that category as well. But now she's removing her implants. We saw her getting her, you know, when she was on her way to get her butt implants removed, she had silicone injected into her butt. And she said that when she went on the operating table, that the operation should have only been so many hours, and it was like twice to almost 3 times as long because the silicone in her body was clogging the needle or whatever the utensil was that was needed to get that shit out of her system. It was clogging it, and that alone ought to be worrisome because it's just like, now I got this shit in my body, and if it's clogging the damn thing, like, what is it doing to my body? You know, so she got that removed. She got her breasts reduced. And then we saw yesterday, she posted a video of her getting rid of the face fillers in her face. And even though it still needed to dissolve, but she was the doctor, when they were doing the injections or putting the needle in to suck some of it out, you could actually see, it was like you could visually see her face kind of transforming when she removed those fillers, the fillers out of her lips. It's, you know, it's actually very commendable to see her putting this out for other people to see. She's saying that I'm not trying to down anybody else that does this. You know, although she did say that if you are going to get implants, you know, get it where they use your own material, your own fat, your own, you know, skin, all of your stuff, instead of injecting unknown silicone and all these other things that usually your body will reject. Okay. So she's just saying, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that I'm past that stage. It's time to do something else. And kudos to her. I think it's a great thing for people to see who might secretly wish that they didn't get all that work done and maybe wanting to do it, but maybe afraid. So now they can see that. But I think it's great. I think that she wants to act more. I think that, like I said, she wants to be taken seriously, you know, and she wants to probably be more Angela White than Blac Chyna, you know, and we saw when she did the interview with Jason Lee last week, you can tell that girl has been to some media training because she speaks very well. There was even a time where Jason Lee was almost looking like he was trying to get her to say something crazy about her mother, which, in all fairness, she really could say a lot of crazy things about her mom because, you know, her mom has been out there shitting all on Blac Chyna's name and saying a whole bunch of stuff. But I love the fact that she wouldn't do it. You know, that's her mother. At the end of the day, she's not going to fight her mom. She's not going to do any of that. She's going to pray. She's going to kind of love her from a distance. And even if that ain't really how she feels, you know, that's what she put out there. She's not going to have that negative shit floating around her name any longer. And I think it's a great thing. I just think that it is a great thing to see. And great for our young people to see as well. Bitch, it is hot as fuck in this car. So good for her. Okay, we'll see if these changes make a big difference in us seeing her out there, you know, getting more acting jobs and just being taken more seriously. You know, we'll see how it goes. But I think that it's a great look for her.
Drain, running from things, running from schemes. I can't hold a frown.
All right, guys, next story up. So Lala was on she was on a I don't know if it's a podcast or if it's just Acorns, which is the You guys know that let me get my words together, child. Acorn is the app. I know it as an app, a financial app where you can buy stock, you can save money. It's got all these different things that happen within Acorn. Angela Yee has a show on Acorn. It's called, I'm sorry, y'all don't have the name. Pies or something, Acorn, with Angela Yee. And one of her guests that she interviewed was Lala. I actually watched the whole interview today because I saw a clip that was put on social media where she's talking about how she's never taken a job because of the money, an acting job because of the money, that she took the job because she wanted the experience. She took the job because she's trying to get her name out there. You know, she had all these other reasons where she took the job, but she said she never took the job for money. And my response to that was like, well, yeah, because you already had money, and it's easier to tell people, you know, that you took a job, you know, and you didn't necessarily get paid either what you were worth or, you know, just paid a lot for it. It ain't that easy for struggling artists out there who already ain't got money to put some fucking food on the table. And then here you come turn around telling me that. So at first I was kind of thrown. I was a little bit, I mean, I wasn't offended, but I was just sort of like, well, I mean, really, Lala, you know, so that's why I wanted to listen to the whole thing, and I did. And it was a good interview, but at the back of my mind also is they left out a lot of the reason why she was able to do that, which was because she was married to a NBA ball player, all-star, you know, Olympics. I mean, he was one of the big names in the NBA. Okay, Carmelo Anthony. So, yeah, easier said than done when you are the wife of Carmelo Anthony. Now, what I will give Lala is she was on the track to do these things anyway. I think that Carmelo Anthony made it much more easy for her to be able to make those decisions based on her financial standing already when it came to her acting, because she was the wife of a rich man, you know. But what I also will give Lala is that Lala, you know, she what y'all call it, got it from the mud, how y'all kids say. You know, she was a DJ out here. First she was like the street team out here in Atlanta, and then she got a show with Ludacris and they were on the radio. And then when Ludacris went on to become a rapper, then she had to hurry up and parlay some shit into other things, went to LA for a little while, was working out there doing things on the radio or whatever, and then got a job at TRL at MTV, which was a huge accomplishment, you know. And we liked Lala back then. She's always had that bubbly personality. I mean, she was perfect for that job. And you know, so she was on the track to do those things, okay? But like I said, it was easier for her because she had Carmelo's income to fall back on. And not saying that she didn't already have her own income, because she did, but she didn't have Carmelo Anthony money, okay? So, you know, once I actually listened to the whole video, then I didn't feel quite so... you know, I wasn't really giving Lala the side eye as much as I was, but I will still say that sometimes we'll say things and not think about other people's situations. Not everybody is in the position to be able to do that. Yeah, just kind of easier said than done. So I think some people were probably off put by that statement. But once I saw the thing, I was just like, okay, yeah, I can't give it to Lala that she's been out there grinding and she was working. And honestly, I didn't even know the girl wanted to act until she popped up on Power. But I mean, it was a natural course of things. And she was on the radio, then she wanted to go on TV, and I'm assuming she probably would like to be in movies next. But yeah, it was a pretty good interview. You guys will have to... Lala is likable. Lala has done a lot to make herself likable. I still think that Lala is a good person. I think that she's just in a different space in her life now. It's you know, it's just about her and her son and making sure that they're taken care of, which they always will, because like I said, you know, she is an NBA ex-wife. So Lala don't have much to want for. She doesn't have to want for nothing. she will have it. So that's probably the irony in that interview. But otherwise, it was a good interview. Did you guys see it? Did you listen to it? Let me know what you thought.
I can't stay down too long. Running from pain.
All right, you guys, and then lastly, I got an engagement and some infanticipation for you. First, the engagement. Evelyn Lozada announced today that she is engaged to a man that she met on the show that she's on with Tamar Braxton and Nivea. It's called the QueensCourt. Remember I told you guys about that show? It was a dating show, the three of them meeting men and, you know, trying to find the loves of their lives. Well, apparently, Evelyn Lozada has found that man. His name is LaLaon Lewis. Okay, so she's going to be Evelyn Lewis if she ever make it down the aisle. Okay, because we know that Evelyn is notorious for being always the bridesmaid, never the bride. The one time that she did get married, y'all know how that ended up. So we'll see if this one does, you know, if she's able to seal the deal on this one. I don't have much faith in dating shows and relationships that come about like this, but apparently she seems to feel like this is the love of her life. This is the man that she's supposed to be with, and, you know, they announced it. Now, my whole thing is the show, I think, is streaming somewhere, and and they just loaded the show for everybody to see, and now here you guys are making the announcement that you're engaged, and people ain't even had enough time to watch the fucking show. So that is the spoiler. Okay, I'll make sure that I put a spoiler on the title for this segment. But yeah, it's sort of like, well, what the fuck I'm watching the show for if you had already told me the man that, you know, won your heart and everything. I mean, yeah, we still got Nivea and we still got Tamar. And we do see Tamar out dating that white guy also that she met on the show. Nivea really is going to be the only one that's going to be the surprise element of the show, because we already know Tamar been hanging out with the white guy. Evelyn is engaged to Mr. Lewis, child. So I was just like, there ain't even no sense in watching. I mean, I guess you can watch just to watch, but I don't know why they would put that information out there instead of, you know, and ruin it for their viewers instead of letting everybody see it organically. So, but anyway, I guess I can say congratulations to Evelyn and Mr. LaLaon. Okay. And then who is infanticipating? Well, it would be your girl Spice. Mama named her Grace LaToya Hamilton. Grace. She actually does look like a Grace to me as well. And if you guys don't know who Spice is, then she is the Jamaican musician on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for many years now. Okay, the one that always wears the blue hair, the one who gives a fantastic stage performance whenever she does perform. She is the real deal. I love Spice, you know, not necessarily too much on Love and Hip Hop, but when I see her perform, you guys, I am in awe. Okay. And yeah, you guys, the news came out. She posted on her social media the other day a picture of her in a blue dress, blue hair, and her stomach very big. She is pregnant. And I was just like, this is interesting, because remember when she was over across seas in the Dominican Republic, I think it was it in DR or was it in Puerto Rico, wherever she was, and she was having complications with a hernia. And I was just like, well, she had to have been pregnant. Well, if she wasn't pregnant then, she definitely was pregnant right after that, because that seemed like that was closer to the end of last year. So it's just odd, because I was just like, so now what was going on with because you getting operated on hernias and you was pregnant? I mean, I guess you can still get an operation while you're pregnant, but I would imagine that most doctors would frown on that. But maybe she needed that because it was going to be complications in the pregnancy. I don't know. But what I can say is sis is definitely pregnant. The stomach is out. We see it, and good for her. So, you know, we'll see what little baby we'll see what little baby salt shaker gonna be, if it's a boy or a girl. Oh, did she say it was a boy? She might have said, or am I just thinking that because she's always in blue? I don't remember. But all that being said, congratulations to Spice and her husband. She already has a few kids, so we just gonna add this one to the.
And sadly, I'm uncomfortable with healing. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down.
Guys, let me get off of here. Let me get this edited. and scheduled for you guys for early Friday morning. All right, we do this every single week, so make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.
Too long, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.